none of your faces are going to show up, but literally my microphone right here is, and my camera is going to be recorded. But I'm so excited that you guys joined band. It's going to be a lot of fun this year. And today, I know a lot of you guys are excited to play your clarinet. We're going to be really lucky if we can put together the clarinet and play it. That's going to be like the goal today. I kind of feel like, especially since we're over video call, like I'm like, all right, well, connect this doodle to that doodle and hopefully like do it this way and don't do it this way. But we're going to do our best, and hopefully we all get ours put together. It would be great if you can get your camera to work. That would be awesome. Those of you guys who have your cameras on, that's brilliant. I'm not really going to talk so much about usual first day stuff. A lot of times I would like talk about grading and, but I'm just so happy that you guys are all in the class and that we get to meet every week. And that's probably the most important thing, that we just get to use our time together and really get a lot of learning going on the clarinet. And I've been teaching about I've been teaching 12 years now. This is my 12th year teaching. So, boy, year number 12, clarinet. You guys ready? Here we go. I kind of like the Mozart in the background. Should I keep it on? Put it in the chat box if I should keep it on. Put a yes or a no. Lucas says yes. Ethan says yes. Isaiah says yes. So your wish is granted. All right, guys, we're jumping over to clarinet cam. Let's talk about the very first thing you should worry about. I know this seems like really, really basic, but let's talk about opening your clarinet case. Okay, so here I have my clarinet case right here. The clarinet case, you might be wondering which direction to open it up. I'm closing the latches right now. Your latches are already closed. Imagine that. There's one side of the clarinet that does have the name that made it. And there's the other side that doesn't. This is the bottom. The side that doesn't have the name on it, that's the bottom. And it may seem like not that big of a deal, but if you've ever opened your clarinet case upside down and everything fell out, that's actually a really important point. So I'd love this to be the very first thing I teach you guys. Make sure you take the bottom. Make sure you take the bottom and you place it on the bottom, facing down. There we go. So if you have a clarinet case with you, you can go ahead and follow along at home. If you don't, you can just watch. Okay. Second step. Welcome, Lindley. I'm going to mark you present here real quick. And that was it. Cool. All right. Second thing is there's some latches over here. Everyone has a little bit of different latches. There's usually two. Most of you guys have them on the front. Sometimes they're on the side. Make sure that you can see the name here, and it's probably facing away from you. But I'm gonna open it up here. I wonder if I could flip my camera. Do you think it'll flip for me? There we go. Hey, there we go. That looks way more normal for me. All right. So here we go. We have all these different pieces inside the clarinet case. Let's just kind of go through and talk about what each of these are. Okay, so this is called the mouthpiece. Okay, this little piece right here has little screws on it. This is called the ligature. It's called the ligature. This has a very specific job. This job is to hold the reed onto the mouthpiece. We'll talk about what a reed is in a moment. By the way, a lot of my students called the reed the wood chip. It's not a wood chip. It's called a reed. So those are those two pieces. Okay. This is called a barrel. Everyone type barrel in the chat box. Go over to the chat box. Type in barrel. Very nice. Even if you spell it wrong, I'm not worried. Yeah, that's called the barrel. That attaches the mouthpiece onto the rest of the body. And usually the barrel, it might have a little hole like that. The big thing is to remember is like where all the pieces are, because they actually are like fitted. Okay. Now this is the bell right here. It's kind of looks like a bell. It doesn't ring though. Okay. That goes on the bottom of the clarinet. And then we have these two body pieces right here. The most difficult part is remembering which part goes on the bottom and which part goes on the top. Okay. We'll work on that in a second. Okay. Then we have probably some other supplies inside here. Let's see, if you have some of this stuff, Go ahead and show it to me on your camera. See if you can find that. It looks like it's either looks like a chapstick or it looks like a little tiny thing of maybe like makeup or something like that. Yeah, Sonny's got it. Good. Lucas has got it. Yay. Okay. And so everyone's going to have one of these. This is called cork grease. Cork grease. This is not chapstick for your face. This is chapstick for your clarinet. So just like maybe your lips get a little chapped and you're like, it's kind of dry, your clarinet will also tend to dry out, and that will happen on the corks. I'll show you guys how to use cork grease in a little while, but cork grease. And then lastly, we have a clarinet reed right here. It might be in a little tiny sealed up bag like this, or it might just be free like Ethan has. Yeah, and he's doing exactly what you want. So you can open it up. It opens up just like a little bag, and inside of there is our clarinet reed. Now this has a plastic sheath on it because it's protecting the little tiny thin reed on there. These reeds cost, the cheap ones cost $1. The expensive ones maybe cost $5. But the ones, if you had one in a little blue package like this, these cost $2. These cost $2, and they're not incredibly fragile, but when you take it out, there's like a thick part and this thin part right here. If this breaks, cracks, or chips, and they will naturally, then that will be done. And so these are not one use, but they'll last about, if you take real good care of your reeds, my friends, your reed will last an entire month. Everyone type in 1 month into the chat box. It'll last 1 month. Unless you chew on your clarinet. So who am I going to make fun of right now? I'm going to make fun of Skylar. Skylar, make sure you don't chew on your clarinet, okay? As soon as you get it. No chewing on the clarinet. It seems like a basic rule, but, figure. So every month. Now, sometimes if you accidentally bump it, like, I don't know, you're carrying your clarinet around, you might bump it or something like that. It might chip, and you might have to get new ones. So I'm going to send your parents links that they can order new ones, and you can get them on Amazon. I think it cost about $20 a box, and they come in a box of 10. So there we go. Reeds. I plan on using about, all year, maybe about 10. So you could probably get the whole year with about 10 reeds, and that's pretty good. Okay, let's kind of start off with our cork grease. I might turn down the Mozart here in a second. This Mozart's getting a little... Mozart, you're getting too loud, bro. All right. So we have our cork grease. I'm going to take it off like this. Okay. One thing you should know about cork grease is you don't have to lather it on. Okay. Thanks, Lindley. I just got your message. So when you put on cork grease, and this is something you may do like once a week. So I take a little bit, I put it on my finger, and just rub it on there. Just a little tiny bit. If you're seeing things like chunks, like, let me do a do not do. If you see a chunk like that, that's super yucky. Serenity, doesn't that look terrible and yucky? Having like a big chunk of grease on there. Ugh, that's not what you want. But it's okay to touch it with your finger. These instruments are made to go, for you to touch them a lot, and for obviously the mouthpiece goes inside your mouth. But I can take that little tiny chunk, and I could probably put just tiny little bits. Okay, cork. There's another piece of cork over here. There should be 4 corks in all, and I'm taking that little chunk, kind of rubbing it on all the corks. And I have one last cork over here of the mouthpiece. And the reason we put that on there is so it slides when we put it together. We don't want this to fall apart. Okay, now we're going to start with the bottom of the clarinet. Start with the bottom of the clarinet. We're going to start off with this. So this is the first part we're going to do. Okay, and then you have to kind of look like, which cork is going to fit that? Okay, don't put the mouthpiece on the bell. If you finished and this is how big your clarinet is, you're doing it improperly. That's not the right way to do it. Okay, so you have to kind of use your smart brain here. Okay, I'll give you a heads up. This part right here is the one. I'm going to try to describe it. It has these long keys. Okay, It has these long keys over here. It has these two caps over here. That's the one that fits. Okay? And when you put it on, you make sure that you're not squeezing any of the buttons. You try to find a nice little spot that your fingers can lay, that you're not going to hurt anything. And you push and you twist. And if you have the cork grease on, it should slide right on. Now, for all of you kiddos at home that don't have a clarinet yet, remember I'm recording this, so you'll be able to watch this later. Okay, and part number 2 here, although I think I have to update I'm going to update my audio here real quick. Turn up my audio mic so that everyone can hear me more properly. There we go. All right, and so my second part here. Hi, Lindley, I can see you now. There we are. Hey, welcome to band. We're learning how to put together the clarinet, and don't worry, I'm recording all this, so you can watch it later. Okay, and there's 2 parts here. There's the part with all of the keys, and then there's the other half that looks like it almost has no keys at all up there. Well, we're going to try to keep the keys together. Now, I'm going to put this on, and I'm going to show you guys one of the do not do's. Because there's a little tiny piece that fits in together. I'm going to try to get it up real close here to the camera. Do you guys see that? Look how smart that is. It's like there's a little paddle right here, and that paddle goes on top of this piece. And if you know what to press, it'll like move everything up and down. It's super cool. Look at that. I press that key and it moves that thing up there. It's kind of cool. This is a very, very complicated thing, and because of that, we're going to make sure we don't crunch the keys. So if you're like whatever you do, don't go like this, squeeze, twist, and but if you do need to, just find a good grip on it. Try not to squeeze anything too much. And I'm also trying to line up all these holes. Have you guys ever played recorder before? Maybe in 4th and 5th grade? Give me a thumbs up if you have.
The recorder?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
The recorder, yeah.
Yeah, so the clarinet is in the same family, the woodwinds, as the recorder. And so these holes are going to line up just like a recorder. You're going to be fine. And by the way, there's a secret hole right there. It's kind of hard to see. 1, 2, 3. Lining them all up. Okay. On top of that, I'm going to put this, it's hard to see here, but I'm going to put this on top of my leg. Okay? Because that's probably what you'll do. So you can put the mouth, not the mouthpiece, but that bell on your leg. It'll help anchor it. Okay, and then you have to think, ooh, okay, now I have the barrel. The barrel is next. And, one way it'll be smaller. You're always going to go bigger to smaller. I put the barrel on top. If it gets stuck, you can always, you kind of push down and you twist at the same time. And we have one final element, and that is the mouthpiece. Okay? Mouthpiece. I'm going to push and twist. And hey, it's all together. I want to point out something. You might be wondering which direction to put the mouthpiece. So I'm going to bring my camera up here. Gosh, it's hard to see the whole clarinet here in one shot. Okay, so I have all my keys on the front. The whole of the mouthpiece would point towards you. Okay, so obviously your fingertips are going to be on the front, and the whole of the mouthpiece is going to be on the back. And it's almost like it's lined up. So if I turn it over, there's this key right here. We won't be learning that key for probably till 7th grade if you guys join the 7th grade band with me. But the whole of this is going to line up with that. Okay? And then we have one final element. Who knows what to put on? Ethan, what's the next step? What are we going to put on, dude?
The reed.
We're going to put on the reed. So we're going to get in real close here. Zooming in to the mouthpiece. Okay, I'm going to get my reed right here. So this is the reed. I'm trying to get it so you guys can see it nicely. Okay, this is the reed. There's the thick part, and then there's the thin part up over here. The thin part matches with the curvature of the top. And so this job, this ligature's job, is going to be to hold the reed to the mouthpiece so that the top of the reed matches up over here. Okay, so I'm going to take these are called thumb screws. So you use your thumbs, and I'm going to unscrew those a little bit, and the ligature can come off. I always put the reed on first, and I try to line it up at the top. Line it up at the top, and then I can hold it with my thumb, like this. And then, okay, so here's the dangerous part. Who am I picking on right now? I'm going to pick on Lucas. Lucas, make sure you don't mess up your reed here. Because if you do it wrong, like if you were to take your metal and go, it'll chip your reed, and then it'll be done. You'll have to have your mom and dad go get more. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to slide it over the top so it doesn't touch the thin part. And bring it down. And there's a little transition. It's hard to see on the video right here. I wonder if I can even get my phone and maybe turn on my light on my phone so you guys can see it a little bit better. Ooh, no, maybe not. That doesn't help at all. That just makes it brighter. Well, there's a little tiny transition right here. You want to make sure it's below. It's on the thick part. And then once it's on there, you can take your thumb screws. You can tighten it back up. Tighten it up, and so first of all it stops, and then you can give it just a little bit more pressure after it stops, just so this isn't moving. You don't have to tighten it all the way down. You don't have to twist it as hard as you can, Lindley. And also too, if you accidentally twist one of the screws the wrong way, you just have to be a smart kid and see if you can put it back on. And I guarantee you, one of you guys is going to have a little trouble with this, and you're going to, something weird's going to happen with one of these one time. Some common things that might happen with this, for instance, sometimes it's hard to hold the reed at the same time. You might accidentally put it too low. See that little gap in there? Yeah, you can't play clarinet like that. Another way is you put the reed too high. If your reed looks like this from the front, that's not going to work, Skylar. It's not going to work at all. And then, so I'm going to readjust it. I'm going to bring it back down. I'm going to get it nice and flush. And I'm just going to give it a little tightening. And then that's it. And that's how you put together your clarinet. Hey, it took me 20 minutes to describe that. So some of you guys already have your clarinet put together. There's a bunch of things that you want to watch out for. First of all, imagine all the different parts of this and all the metals and stuff. You want to make sure that you never squeeze it or never bend anything. If you bend something, you might have to bring it to the clarinet repair person. You have to drive all the way to Santa Maria to go have your clarinet repaired. Do you think I've had students break their clarinets before? Nod your head yes or no.
Yes.
Lindley's nodding yes, and you're right. I have had students break their clarinet in some horrible, terrible, no good, very bad way, and they had to drive all the way down to this lady in Santa Maria, and it's a little old lady, and she fixes clarinets. She's super nice, but she talks at you for 45 minutes, and then she fixes your clarinet and makes you play it in front of her. So always make sure you take care of your clarinet. But hey, there we go. So that's a good start. I'm thinking, Mr. Dean, there's so many buttons on here. There's so many buttons. How am I going to learn all of these? You know what, guys? We're going to learn this thing like one note at a time. Really not a big deal. And so I'm going to teach you guys your first note right now. Okay, so if you have your clarinet, you're going to be fine. If you don't have your clarinet, you can just watch, and you can watch this video later. So you'll be fine. So if you don't have yours. Okay, so let's talk about where to put your thumb. Okay, does anyone know, does your left hand go on top or does your right hand go on top?
Your left hand.
Lindley says left. Someone else,
Left.
I think Ethan, you said left, and Lucas, you said left. Your
Left.
left hand goes on top.
Hand.
You're correct. Absolutely. Left hand on top. It's okay, Skylar. So just a reminder that your left hand makes an L when you look at it. Okay. And what you're going to do is you're going to take your left thumb, and there's only one hole on the back. There's only one hole. It's right there. You're going to put your thumb on the hole. That's it. And then with your pointer finger with your left hand, you're going to feel over to the front. Okay. And I'm going to get real close to the camera here so you guys can see. You're going to feel over to the front, and there's a hole on the front too. See that? There's also the secret key up over there. Don't press that. It's the ejection seat. So careful, Lindley. If we see you disappear and we see a bunch of stuff come down from the ceiling, we'll know what happened. So don't press that button. It's the ejection seat. I've disabled mine, so I'm allowed to touch it. Okay, so you put your thumb on the back and you put one finger right there. And when I say put your finger on, I'm talking about like you got to make a seal. Like you can't go halvesies on it. You can't go like that. You also can't accidentally press everything else. I've seen kids be like, okay, I'm pressing that button. And press all the other buttons. No. We're just pinchy there and pinchy there. And then like literally you can just put all the other fingers away for a little while. Okay. And then we're going to worry about the other half over here. Okay. So now we're going to worry about what to do. I just realized that my read isn't perfect, but we're going to create what's called a embouchure. Okay. Embouchure. And the biggest part about where to put it, so I have my pinchy here. Also, see that little thing? That's another thumb. That's where your right thumb goes. So I'm going to take this, and the reed gets pressed up against your lip. Not on your teeth. Not on your teeth, Isaiah. Not on your teeth, Ethan. And you press it up against your lower lip, like that. Okay? And then what you can do is you can you can put your teeth over the top right here. Okay? And you put your upper lip over the top. And with a little luck, you'll make this sound. That's the goal. Let's see how we're doing. Let's do a little quick round robin. Let's see how we're doing. Anyone think they might be able to do that? Lucas, I think you might be able to pull this one off. Let's hear it, Lucas. Hey, that's a great sound. Anyone else, William? Serenity, you want to give it a shot? Give her a rip. Let her rip, Serenity.
Which door is it?
You just do a pinchy right here and then try to blow on it. And I can help you with the fingers too. Hey, that sounds pretty good. We'll work on the fingers in a minute, but that was a great sound. Lindley, why don't you give a shot?
Do the pinch one?
Yep, just do the pinch one. Yeah, amazing. Ethan, why don't you show us what you got there? Hey, that was pretty good. We might accidentally, I can tell you're pressing an extra button because it's one lower.
Yep, I definitely
one
am.
lower. So you might be pressing an extra one, but Mr. Dean is quick on the uptake. I know when that sort of stuff happens. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yay! Bunch of muffins are making notes. We'll take it. Let's see. Lupita, do you have one yet? I'm checking here.
No, not yet.
Not yet? Okay, it's at the school. So you just have to go to school and pick it up. Anyone else? Isaiah, did you want to give it a shot? Have you gotten yours yet? Let's see. Oh, yeah. So Isaiah, watch out. When you were playing, I could see your reed, which either means that your mouthpiece is backwards or you're holding the clarinet backwards. Is it possible to tilt the camera down a little bit so I can see? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, hold up the clarinet for me. Good. Okay, so what you're going to do, watch this, Isaiah. So right now, your clarinet looks like that to you, right? Take a look at it. And now what you're going to do is you're going to turn just the mouthpiece around so that you can see the reed right there. Just turn the top. Yeah.
In the barrel.
Mm-hmm. You could turn it from the barrel too. Perfect. Stop. Yeah. Now try. Let her rip, man. Oh, I think you might have gotten it spun around there. I'm going to help you out in the end. Sonny, do you want to give it a chance? Maybe at the end. It's up to you. Nice. Hey, that's pretty good. All right. Now, let's talk about how to take it apart and put it away. To take it apart. So Sonny and Isaiah, I want you guys to leave yours put together because I want to work with you guys a little bit at the end, okay? First thing you do when taking your clarinet apart is you start with the reed. Start with the reed. So same, it's almost like same but backwards. This is going to go much faster, by the way. You always start with the reed and make sure you take off the ligature without injuring the reed. And this actually should come off every single time. Do not leave your reed on. And then with a little luck, you should have gotten a reed holder. That's what this little plastic thing is. Okay. And then I always start with the butt first. So you got to start with the thick end, and then you could push it in real carefully. Just make sure that thin part is being protected so you can throw it in the case, and it's no big deal. Okay. So I start with that, and then I literally just go backwards. We're not going to clean our clarinets today. They'll be clean enough. And I take my mouthpiece right there. Right there. By the way, you're going to twist and pull. Remember not to squeeze any of the keys. I'm going to put my barrel back in that spot. Okay, twist and pull. Sorry, I was having trouble reaching. Twist and pull. Okay, now here's the problem. Now we have two places, and I'm not sure which one it is. Okay, so you got to figure out where it fits. So I would recommend just kind of like turning it and just trying to find the best place where it fits. It might fit a couple different ways, but I think that's actually the correct way right there. Okay, and then twist and pull. You know, it's easy to know where the bell goes. I mean, there's a big shape there, like, so I'm good with the bell. And I remember that the big part was up here, and you might have to kind of just tinker. Usually there's like a little divot for, so I got to feel for the divot for that thumb piece. Okay, I'm